Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are staying safe. Firstly, thank you so much for your love and support. I'm truly blessed. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about cloud strategy. In the previous episode, I've given and shared all my thoughts around cloud transformation. So if you guys are not yet watched, I'll share the video link in the description. Please go and watch. Let's understand why do we create a cloud strategy first. More and more companies are turning towards the cloud in recent days. The reason why they found cloud as an efficient instrument for them to deploy their workloads, ensure that they wanted to have a faster to market solutions. However, understand one thing, adapting to the cloud without clear strategy, obviously it will not be effective and it's going to lead a lot of problems. So take a step back. A well thought out cloud strategy, a process should be in place at your organization level. And in order for you to prepare a better enterprise in the digital world, this initiative has to be run at an executive level, and everyone within the board, including your stakeholders, expertises, or your other team members, or any other senior persons, everyone has to be led through each and every step what has been defined in your cloud strategy. Today I'm going to share some of my thoughts, views from my previous experience. How do we create a cloud strategy effectively, ensure that it helps you to transform your organization into a digital enabled organization? Let's begin. So if you look at cloud strategy, it basically helps you to unifies your IT strategy with your business goals. At the same time, it helps your organization to see how do we optimize the existing IT landscape to maximize your ROI. So understand very clearly, build a business-centric technology in order to achieve your business goals, and see how do you as an organization can speed up business outcomes if you are planning to move towards cloud tenants. A very important aspect, finding a balance between your IT and business so that you can achieve towards get the benefits of a cloud. And there are few aspects in terms of a complexities, or I would say most of the companies face a significant challenges ahead of. For example, your cloud adoption, migration, integration, data security, your cost management, and your governance and compliance aspects, and your existing availability of your resources and expertise. So when it comes to the cloud strategy, as I mentioned, it lies in how better you orchestrate the challenges and converting them into milestones of your digital transformation journey so that you can leverage the cloud much better. Now let us look at what are those cloud strategy areas. 1. Goals. Setting a business goals will help you to define exactly what your business wants to achieve by moving into the cloud. So have a proper alignment of larger strategic initiatives within your organization. Having a cloud strategy, it ensures that it helps you to balance between your IT objectives with your strategic business goals, and define what are the strategic goals for your cloud adoptions. Do you have a goals, something like you wanted to have a quick release of new services or products, or you wanted to achieve an operational excellence, or you wanted to acquire or retain new customers, or upgrading some of your key decision making processes, or you wanted to gain a competitive advantage within the market space, or you wanted to ensure a business survival. Understand what are all different goals if you are planning to go with the cloud adoption. Once you have a goals, then assess what are the business capabilities for your cloud adoption. Identify what are the business capabilities, because that is what it represents, what an organization is good at. It can be your resources, it can be knowledge base, or your leadership frameworks, or technology landscapes. 2. How confident your business teams to understand the context of why we need cloud. Remember one thing, cloud strategy has to be applied workload by workload. As I mentioned in the previous point, you have to have a proper RACI metrics for every workload within your organization. So you need to understand who is owning that, who is responsible for, and what are the additional information, and metadata of every workload has to be documented and be ready. So I would suggest do your brainstorming, both your stakeholders, decision makers, and some of your IT specialists, to ensure how best we will determine and evaluate if I wanted to go with the cloud adoption, what is the impact also. Or you can go with the SWOT analysis, understand as an organization where are we have a strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Maybe you can use another technique, something called value chain analysis. So there are different techniques which helps you to understand how do we create most value for a customer, whether the cloud improves the effectiveness and efficiency of all your processes. 3. Understand your existing as-is IT architecture. Remember one thing, focusing only on your cloud technical implementation roadmap without understanding or taking a consideration of your existing business architecture, that's not going to give you any holistic picture. It's not going to help you anyways. So why we are doing this activity? Just to ensure that you as a business has a proper understanding of your business IT architecture, and see how you can align your architecture towards your technology maturity aspects, isn't it? Then only you understand, okay, which are all areas where I need to improve or rework before we go towards your cloud implementation, right? This is one very key important step. So don't be hurry in deciding, or taking decisions in a rushed manners. So there are different aspects you need to be considered if you wanted to understand your as-is architecture. Assessment of your present IT enterprise architecture, applications, your digital infrastructure, interfaces, your data governance policies, metrics, etc., etc. Then understand what is your present technical depth, and which is the kind of result of picking some of your limiting solutions over superior ones that will take longer time to develop. So have a continuous integration and delivery of different business processes which use end of the day agile principles will help you to reduce a lot of your technological debt they accumulate. And the other one, outline what are the areas of concerns you identified. In the above I said 2 points. Understand how do we take necessary actions or doing more research. Four, to be architecture, or what is your future architecture state. The main goal, what I'm talking about here, is to have a study, understand of how you wanted your to be state should be. At the same time, what is your vision for cloud enabled enterprise architecture? I think you should come up with that vision. It should have both your business and as well as technical sides of your cloud implementation. At the same time, understand what is the impact of your existing company processes and operations has also needs to be assessed at this level. Some of my thoughts around this: for example, you can use a few of tools which are out available in the market, or you can use some of the techniques, something like use case modeling. So it mainly helps you to understand how better we determine the requirements of a cloud system, and having said that, we are clear on what is the overall scope for a cloud service provider. So it also helps everyone to understand what needs to be done so that your business can achieve maximum value from their cloud investment. Or you can use a cost benefit analysis as another a technique which helps you to identify what is the pros and cons of your different cloud solutions, and then you choose a specific cloud solution by validating your financial returns, for example your cost savings and operational risks. There's a lot of aspects around this, right? So identify and classify what are your physical and intangible value drivers, as well as financial and non-financial benefits for your enterprise, and then develop a proper cost benefit model to determine some of your metrics, for example your return on investment, or TCO, or NPV. And finally ensure that these are not to miss any of these metrics, and do a proper evaluation in terms of context of your cloud. 5. Fit gap analysis. Yes, very important aspects. Once you clear on what is your as is state and what is your to be state, you should have this phase or this activity has to be happened. In this, what happens actually, you need to determine what are the strategic gaps that need further assessment regarding of whatever your cloud investments are. Assess what are your potential technological and IT workflow gaps and what are those opportunities, and see if you can prioritize some of the potential cloud and other technology advancements, and then you come up with or develop an action plan to handle all your challenges and issues. Six, it's all about risk. Yes. So do a proper risk assessment will help you to identify and validate some of the possible issues, as well as development of some of the mitigation solutions when you're really talking about a risk. So for me, a delivery risk is one of the aspect. It's something like a possibility of failing to deliver some of the essential capabilities. It could be your vendor reliance, or lack of scope clarity, or maybe you're not clear on the deliverables, or it could be your inadequate project management, and so on. And the other risk, what I found, is that a risk of not delivering anticipated business benefits, which has been defined in our business case. For example, a lack of alignment between business and IT, or some of the technical standards are not being followed when you do an architecture, or it could be an issue or not having enough security compliance aspect, or you don't even define any criteria to evaluate your business outcomes, right? So after these risks are identified, they have to be prioritized in accordance with their likelihood of occurrence in future. It's a very important aspect, so please take a proper note of risk. 7. Security. Utmost important aspect. You should align the complete cloud strategy with your overall organization security strategy. It is a fundamentally key for your success towards your cloud adoption. So go and review the existing security guidelines, controls, whether it has been aligned to your business goals, and how you as an internal security manager or head of security ensure that all the controls are followed, whether it can be your customer standards or your local compliance standards, or your regulatory framework standards. So do a proper thorough assessment and review of how better you can align your security strategy against your cloud strategy when you're talking about security as a key. So far you understand what kind of cloud you're looking out for. So when deciding whether to use a private cloud or public cloud or hybrid cloud, a great thoughts has to be put down. So do a proper comprehensive weightage of your advantage and disadvantage of each of these possible alternative cloud service providers, and pick your IT support backbone as a type of cloud which you are choosing to meet your business demands. Ensure that you have a proper budget as being given from your senior management teams. You must also spend money on hiring right people to work on your cloud development initiatives. At the same time, the cloud is viewed as most companies as a tool for their process optimization and cost reduction. So you as a company should determine what you wanted to do from a cloud point of view and how the change will benefit your company. So after you consider all your needs as well as your budget and resources, you will want to check out what is the best technology stack available for your cloud migration. As I said earlier, the majority of cloud service providers, they provide hosting. So do a proper assessment, choose a cloud vendor that is one-stop shop for all your cloud-based needs, keeping yourself to go-to-market strategy in mind in future. The last thoughts, implementation approach. So have a viable implementation roadmap and recommendations, and prepare a framework to align to your business priorities which has been set at a strategy level, and see what operations, your project management and governance policies are in line and it has its own place. Either you can consider some of the common principles. You wanted to go with a cloud first model, or you wanted to have a buy before build, or you wanted to pick best of breed. So choose which principles will help you to smoother your implementation approach. Other aspects is capacity planning in terms of your resources and other assets, and you classify and prioritize your end-to-end complete cloud strategy program with your respective timelines. This timelines has to be shared in a different DevOps model or a Scrum or Sprint across all the stakeholders within the board, and see what best practices or recommendations you can have a look when you're coming up and preparing your implementation plan. A very important governance process. So please have a proper governance council has to be set up, and on top of that, exit strategy, how to get off a cloud decision if it doesn't work out soon or as planned. So every contracts are most visible part of an exit strategy. But at the same time, what I'm saying here, you should also include your data ownership, your backup and other transfer activities. At the data, application, architecture, skills, all those things, having a problem of lock-in. So if a cloud decision needs to be altered or rolled back, this exit strategy ensures your awareness and planning. So please take a note of your exit strategy, how better you can plan out. And final, you have to do end-to-end documentation on your strategy, program and approach and processes. I hope you understand what are all the aspects you should consider when you're planning for cloud strategy. So these are some of my thoughts with my previous experience. Hope this will help to revisit, relook what has been already defined at your organizational level. Just to conclude my thoughts around this, setting a meaningful cloud adoption priorities. I repeat, it has to be in line with your company objectives and priorities is very, very critical. So have a proper collaboration from an organization, end to end with every teams, different stakeholders, experts, Have a proper guiding principles for your cloud adoption and keep them as a major crucial milestones towards a successful cloud strategy during your planning stage, and be a more disruptive and digital first organization. All the very best, and thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe. At the same time, share this video with your other friends and colleagues. Thank you.